Chicano scholars and writers throughout the Southwest owe much to Américo Paredes. A folklorist, novelist, poet, and scholar, his contributions laid the literary and scholarly foundations for narratives of border conflict, contestations to Anglo hegemony, and new understandings of anthropological study. His literary works influenced a generation of Chicano writers, and his role as an educator helped cultivate the future critical scholarship of Chicano and Chicana academics. Paredes was born on September 3, 1915 in Brownsville, Texas. His father's family lived in the lower Rio Grande Valley, and before that traces their origins to Nuevo León. On his mother's side, they arrived from Spain in the mid-19th century. Paredes was born into a time of ethnic and racial conflict along the U.S.-Mexico border, as well as the political upheaval of the Mexican Revolution, an origin which guided much of his work and sense of identity. He worked for the Brownsville Herald during his college years, and in 1944 he entered the Army serving as a writer for a military journal, Stars and Stripes. Upon his return, he sought an English degree at the University of Texas at Austin. He has taught throughout the Southwest, received many prestigious awards, and was part of the founding of Chicano Studies at UT of Austin. A list of his works include The Shadow, George Washington Gomez, and his most famous work, With His Pistol in His Hand. The work for which Paredes is known is about Texas folklore and the importance of border heroes for border folk. With His Pistol in His Hand challenges dominant myths in Texas around racial conflict and about Texas Rangers and Mexicans. Pointing to the history of racial violence towards Mexicans by Texas Rangers, he argues that historians and academics glorify the Rangers and vilify or ignore Mexicans. The book traces the origins of the corrido along the border and focuses on the story of Gregorio Cortez, a Mexican-American border hero who fled the double standard of Texas justice when he, after a misunderstanding due to language, killed a sheriff in self-defense after seeing his brother shot. The corrido became a story about standing up for your right as well as the skillful shooting and writing of Gregorio Cortez. Here's an excerpt from the book. You can almost see him there, Gregorio Cortez, with his pistol in his hand. He was a man, a border man. What did he look like? Well, that is hard to tell. Some say he was short and some say he was tall. Some say he was Indian brown and some say he was blonde like a newborn cockroach. But I'd say he was not too dark and not too fair, not too thin and not too fat, not too short and not too tall. And he looked just a little bit like me. But does it matter so much what he looked like? He was a man, very much of a man, and he was a border man. Some say he was born in Matamoros, some say Reynosa, some say Hidalgo County on the other side, and I guess others will say other things. But Matamoros, or Reynosa, or Hidalgo, it's all the same border. And short or tall, dark or fair, it's the man that counts. And that's what he was, a man.
El condado del Carmen, miren lo que ha sucedido. Murió el sherife mayor, quedando Román herido. Otro día por la mañana, cuando la gente llegó, unos a los otros.
With His Pistol in His Hand immortalizes the border hero to counter the predominance of Texas Anglo mythologizing. This work disrupts contemporary understandings of Mexicans and Americans by showing how the Mexican-American War and the creation of the border divided communities and families that had resided in the lower Rio Grande Valley for generations. It also exposes the ways that racist legacies are inherited and visible in our media and our sports teams, shaping simple understandings of complicated histories and peoples, informing politics and our treatment of each other. Though Paredes' work does much to challenge these narratives, we can't ignore his male-centered intervention and the near omission of women's experiences from his novels and his academic work.
Con su pistola en la mano, no siento haberlo matado, que sientes a mi hermano.
Américo Paredes died May 5, 1999, leaving behind a legacy and body of work that continues to influence and inform the writings of Chicana and Chicano academics and other writers.
Decía Gregorio Cortés con su pistola en la mano, no corran trinches cobardes con un solo mexicano. Gregorio le dice a Juan, muy pronto lo vas a ver, anda, háblale a los sheriffes que me vengan a prender. Agarraron a Cortés, ya terminó la cuestión. La pobre de su familia la lleva en el corazón.